presentation. In this presentation, today I am going to make presentation on the mythical technique in the Westland, paper number 206. So, the mythical technique in the Westland. This is my personal introduction. Table of content. Introduction about the poem. About the writer. About the poem. Mythical technique in the Westland. Conclusion and then references. First, about the writer. T.S. Eliot is a highly distinguished as a poet, literary critic, and a dramatist, an editor, and a publisher. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1948. Eliot's most notable works include The Wasteland, Four Quartets, and the play Murder in the Cathedral. Eliot awarded and honors include the British Order of Merit and the Nobel Prize for Literature. His play The Portrait Party won Tony Award for Best Play in 1950. In 1964, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Old Posthumous Books of Practical Cats was famously adapted in 1981 into a musical Cats, which won 7 Tony Awards. About the poem, the Westland by T.S. Eliot is the most influential poem of 20th century. It first appeared in the magazine The Dial, later on having won the magazine's poetry award for the year. It was published in the book form in 1922. The poem itself was heavily edited by Ezra Pound. It is a modern epic poem which contains 434 lines, and it is divided into 5 sections. Eliot presents a black picture of the landscape of the contemporary world and its history. This concludes numerous literary and cultural references from sources as diverse as Dante, Chaucer, Shakespeare, Blake, Conrad, and there is also a reference of taken from ancient Sanskrit and the First World War. Mythical techniques in the Westland. In the poem, The Westland, the poet uses mythical method to convey the idea to us. The mythical method consists in manipulating a continuous parallel between the contemporary situation and the old mythical situation. The poet has put together the old and the new, the ancient and the modern and in the way he draws a comparison, the contrast between the past and the present. When a poet employs the mythical method, he put the contemporary problems in historical perspective in order to prove the problems of the present. He borrowed mythical material from J.C. Weston's book From Rituals to Romance and from James Fraser's book The Golden Globe. The poet says that he was deeply influenced by these works of anthropology. The mythical wasteland of the fishermen symbolizes the contemporary decay and spiritual sterility. The sick king symbolizes the sick humanity. In case of the king's sickness is represented from the sexual sin. In this poem, the poet wishes to convey the idea that sexual sin leads to spiritual death. It is also expressed with the idea that spiritual health can be regained only through the penance, suffering, and self-discipline. In the poem Westland, Eliot uses of the phrase "the dead tree," "the handful of dust," "the dry grass" are all derived from a biblical imagery of decay and demolition caused by spiritual sterility. The Adonis and Attis are Greek gods representing the yearly decay and revival of life, especially of vegetable life, as the personification of God who annually died and rose against the dead. Adonis is a god of Asiatic origin, was taken into a Greek mythology. Attis is like Adonis, is another resurrection god. According to Greek mythology, Attis was the youth loved by Phrygian goddess and also god of vegetation. And in his self-multiplication, death and resurrection, he represents the fruit of earth. which dies in the winter and only to the rise again in the spring. The myths of Adonis and Attis are of Fraser's main concern in his monumental work, The Golden Bough, to which Eliot acknowledged his indebtedness for the construction of the Westland. He tries to show the resurrection has been a major mythical motif lying in the collective of all men, unconsciousness of all men throughout different ages. From primitives to modern men, in the very opening lines, the Westland, this the position of Tyresha. Tyresha is a protagonist of the poem The Westland, and in this poem, Tyresha's position is only one suggestion of the comprehensive disorder of the Westland. The integration of multiple mythologies, historical reference, and personality types into the text of the poem substantiates the extent of their removal from the time, space, and order. Shanti, which is taken from the Upanishad. Shanti is magically repeated in 3 times in this poem. Shanti is the end of the Upanishad in the same way in which it is not is the end of the text Westland. Shanti suggests the necessity of an answer beyond human knowledge because human knowledge is expressed by the language, and this community system does not seem to apprehend reality. A sign leads us to another sign, and a signifier to a signifier. Conclusion: in the Westland, the Eliot says the country has become the Westland due to the king's sin. He tells them the regeneration is possible only if they return to God. He links up the past with the present and says that sexual sins and spiritual decay are responsible for baselessness of the contemporary civilization will be only when humanity is prepared to pay the price in the form of suffering and penance. The poet refers the Westland of King Oedipus of Thebe, and also the biblical West of the ominous, as mentioned in this Essays and Ezekiel's of the Old Treatment. This is the references. If you have any query, then ask. My question for you is that which is the climax part of this poem and what does it signify? The climax parts of this poem, The Westland, is the fire sermon, and the fire represents the lust, and the sermon is a spiritual speeches, representing spiritual speeches. In this part, they bring spirituality and lust both together. So, my question is, what is the major difference between epic poem and modern epic poem according to me? The epic poem consists of 10 lines or more than 10 lines, and in modern epic poem there is a difference at 100 line to 900 line. Which poem consists consists 100 to 900 lines, that is known as modern epic poem. In this, for example, in this poem there is 424 lines, so we can consider it as a modern epic